All right. So Jay, it's been about a week since we talked, and I just kind of wanted to follow up on that conversation. Is that a good place for us to start? Would that
Yeah,
be good?
sure. Yeah, great.
Perfect. Okay. So for the sake of the audience and people who are just kind of listening in now, can you just introduce yourself, your name, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, Jay Sapovitz. Oh boy, who I am and what I do.
Uh-huh.
So I own Ink Stores, which is a promotional marketing firm. We screen print, embroider, and offer all forms of decorated items. Ideate for corporate clients to make sure that they're getting a return on their investment, whether it's employee engagement or trade shows, handouts, giveaways, onboarding, or anything that's got a physical aspect to it relative to gifting. From Philly originally, live outside of Boston now. Married, three kids, 25, 23, and 20. Um, Dog named Arky.
Arky?
Arky. Yeah, he's from
Who?
Arkansas.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We actually call him Arky Dog.
Arky dog. Very cute.
Arky Dog.
All
Yeah.
right. What kind of dog is it?
Beagle.
A beagle. Okay. Yeah. Does he
Yeah.
bark a lot and howl?
Yeah, I mean, he's a beagle.
All
It's
right.
amazing. But Deborah, listen, that's a lesson for life, right? We accept things we expect from people and animals. So I expect Arky because he's a beagle to bark. So I accept that he barks.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise to me, and therefore it's a little bit of white noise.
Okay. Well, that's really an excellent perspective to have. It's very healthy. And, it's really interesting. So you're in the promotional business, right? So embroidery, all of that. And it's so interesting because I was just at an event recently and I was one of the sponsors. And I didn't know about you at the time. So it was before you and I had the opportunity to meet. And I live in South Carolina and the event was taking place in Georgia. And I had this brainstorm that I was going to give every participant a bag that said, nuts from Georgia, right? And they actually made them from a company in Georgia. And I had my little label put on there, and it was great. And then people were giving out all kinds of promotional gifts. So I think from a question that I would ask you is there's so much noise with this stuff, and you can go online and you can find stuff made, and I hate, just all over China, wherever.
Yeah,
And it seems cheap, but my experience is when it's really cheap, you get what you pay for.
well, of course.
Yeah, the quality is off, the lettering might not be right.
Yeah, buy nice or buy twice.
I love that. So, first of all, what is your background and how long have you been doing this business?
Yeah, so I've been in ink stores for I mean, we really started in 2015, so it's 11 years now. October will be 11 years. My background is actually I started in the media business. That's what I went to school and college for. I was on air for a few years. I pivoted from that to the events business. So I created a special event to the PGA Tour for the Ryder Cup captain, Jim Furyk,
Oh.
who remains a friend and colleague. Then I went into the luxury space, sold private jets and luxury villas for a decade plus. And that's
Well, I
my
got a million
background.
questions. Yeah, so wait a second. I've got like a million questions just exploded in
Yeah.
my head. So how did you go from luxury and all of that to pivot to like what's the story behind this?
I mean, it's a simple story. I mean, we in the luxury space understood the concept of physical gifting. So we were always producing swag and producing merch. And I was fortunate enough to be at a company that put great value on that and see some of the best swag and merch and the thought process behind it and how it made people feel. So for me, it wasn't a huge leap to go from the luxury space to the merch space because it was something I felt like I was always tangential to and involved in. And yeah, I mean, look, I think that I'm positioned here at Inked Stores, and I think the whole merch space is positioned incredibly well as the world goes more digital and more artificial with AI. I think everything is becoming watered down online, and the less real the world gets online, the more it's going to be needed that you have a connection with your clients, and that connection is going to end up being physical gifting, Deborah.
Okay, that's interesting. So, all right, you've been in this business for a few years.
If you
Um, the biggest challenge that you have then, what is the biggest challenge that you're working through
look,
or have worked through?
I think the biggest challenge is exactly something you talked about earlier. When you bought that bag, you bought it probably from an online company, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of people want to do business that way. They want to just go online and buy it. And, you know, they're sort of accepting of the fact that it might be subpar, but it's done. So I fight constantly companies using promo being an afterthought. So think about it this way. You spend thousands of trade shows are a perfect example. You spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a sponsorship, right? You spend thousands of dollars on transportation, on accommodations, on food, on being there. You spend your time. And then the physical representation, you're left to your own ideas and your own concept and your own search engine as to what's out there in the marketplace and what's not. And you're not hiring an expert at no cost, by the way, except for the same cost that you would pay buying something online, right? So my clients engage with me. I'm not charging them an upcharge. I'm charging them whatever they would pay online. They're likely going to pay with me, right? I mean, this industry has been completely democratized. But they're not, and you're not in this instance talking through with anybody. Like the bag you gave away, was it a nice bag? Is there a better bag? Is there a better bag for the price? Is it something people are going to keep? Like, what's the material made out of? So there's a lot of different, the biggest thing we fight is just customers like going online and saying, oh, I just got to get something done. When the reality is that like it could be so much more thoughtful and relevant to the audience and create a return on the investment that you make. So that's a big challenge for us.
So, question for you, a couple things. I've done both. I've ordered from companies that have the product and they happen to have an online way of ordering. And then I've made some orders with companies that are purely online, and there's really nobody helping me with the artwork. So I just want to go back for a second and get a little bit more granular, if that's okay.
Please.
I just had a conversation with another guest and business owner, and we were talking about how sales and marketing really need to work together, right? I
Mhm.
had this whole presentation I did at SUNY in Hudson Valley, the SUNY Orange system. And the marketing department would bring me in and I would teach the students how important it is for marketing to help to warm the call, open the door, get your company and your name branded. And then sales was the one who was in charge of, okay, now I'm in the door, now I got to close the deal. So this is a whole concept, right? And I think just to point a little bit more towards how important what you do is, when you think about branding and you think about marketing and having the right graphics and having the quality of the product, because it's actually an extension of you and your company. So I know I sound like I'm preaching to the choir because I know that you're on board with us because this is why you're doing what you're doing. So for the listeners out there who have not made that connection, your brand is who you are. The gift, the quality of what you're giving is also an extension of you, and it's the impression that your client or your prospective client is going to have of you. So when I remember working for this really large multinational company and in the sales department, one of the things and we had a whole marketing group that didn't get involved with sales didn't get involved with marketing, but they supplied us with all the client gifts. And I remember the best the best, most used and kept gift that consistently had the company's name branded in the face of the potential clients was a chip clip with a magnet. And it was a really strong chip clip. It was a great chip clip. It actually held the bags closed, and the magnet was a strong one. And I remember going back to clients 2, 3 years later to talk to them, and my sales team would go talk to them, and they would still have those chip clips in their refrigerators. So I think people underestimate the value of, or maybe they make the wrong decisions. So do you and or your team, do you guys actually make suggestions and talk to clients, or
It's the number one thing that we do.
perfect. So you onboard a new client, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, back to your question relative to do we make suggestions? I mean, that's the whole concept of the business is we ideate with our clients. And the first question I ask a client relative to them working with us is, what are you trying to accomplish? Right? So I start with the outcome in mind. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to sell them a product. What do I care what they buy? I actually want them to create a result with whatever it is they buy. So, I'll give you an example. I just had a conversation with a gentleman that's got an airline catering company. They cater for private jets, right? And commercial airlines. That's what they do. And I don't know if you knew this, but there's an in-flight training academy in school for flight attendants and people who work in the cabin of aircraft. Did you know that?
Yeah, I kind of knew that, but I didn't realize that there was a whole thing with the food thing.
So they want to do some, so they're allowed to put a brochure, a catalog inside of their goodie bags that the participants get when they finish the school.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah. So, they get a gift. They finish the school, they get a gift from the academy, and it's got several partners and vendors, and they've got, goods and services in there, right? So what's a good gift for a flight attendant who's constantly on the road, primarily female?
Oh, that's a great product. Oh, look at you.
Right.
Oh, and it lights up. Okay.
And it's a lit mirror.
That's
right.
great.
So, that's just something that it seems silly, but that's just something that you're never going to find on your own searching online. And the reason that I find it is because our process as a company is incredibly deep. So first off, I go to almost every trade show, regional and national, that the industry throws at us, which is a ton. Probably on a trade show floor once a month if I average it out. Second is because of the volume of business that we do. So there's monster companies in our space, and they're like really selective. They don't take meetings with all of the different distributors because they've got their distributors that they like and have terms and special agreements with. And then they've got the others, right? But because of our size, I take meetings with everybody. So just as an example, on today, I have 2 different distributors coming in to show me 50 to 100 products each, that they're coming to me to show me what those products are.
They want you.
And now, the way I do it is I actually use it as content. So if you go on my LinkedIn or you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see shorts of me literally showing you different products, right? I told you.
Yep, Mike and I.
You asked me what I was chewing on when we first had a conversation. I was chewing on Mike and Ike's. Why? Because this is a product that I had sampled. Okay, this is a full color plastic lid.
So for anybody that's just listening, that's not watching this on YouTube, so it's actually a really nice size container with a good lid, in multicolor.
Printed on the top with your brand, not a decal, a direct print.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a cool item to give away. It's going to sit on somebody's desk for a minute. And when it's expired, I might put more Mike and Ike's inside of
That's what I have my sales team doing. Yeah.
candy jar.
Yep.
So again, our goal is to get our clients visibility into interesting, unique, cool, original, and thoughtful products that help them accomplish their objectives, regardless of what those objectives are, whether it's employee onboarding or ROI at a trade show. And the only way you do that is by asking questions and listening and having a vast knowledge of what's out there in the space and who's good at making things and on time. And oh, by the way, when something goes wrong, being accountable and making sure that it's fixed and dealt with without any consternation, or at least limited. So,
How many locations do you have? Because you mentioned you have multiple locations.
yeah, well, this is it. We're based in Foxborough, Massachusetts, but we're a worldwide company. We do business with companies all over the world and ship internationally.
Okay. So I'm just curious, and if you don't want to add this into so you can't do all the manufacturing in one place. So are you doing the manufacturing, or are you using another company to do the manufacturing for you?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, we manufacture about 90% of the apparel that we produce in-house. We embroider, screen print, and then have a dozen or so heat presses on site in my facility, which helps us control the timing and quality of our apparel. But the industry is set up to have hundreds of companies that hold inventory in these massive warehouses and facilities that print on various substrates and products like plastics or water bottles, and do engraving and direct color printing and such. So hard goods generally is a partner, soft goods generally in-house.
Okay, well, that's a good way to think of it. So how many employees do you have working for you on the in-house products?
Under 30.
Okay, so it's still a good size though. That's a nice size team.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been one to flex employee count as a measure of success. But yeah, we take care of a lot of families here, and good
Yeah.
people, and everybody who's here has been with me for a while. I don't have any newbies. It's
No.
long termers.
Well, they're with you for a reason, right? They stay for a
Yeah, I
reason.
mean, it's very rare that folks are in and out here. We generally, I mean, minimum is usually 3 years, 2, 3 years minimum. People are with us. Yeah, we keep people for a long time.
So when you come across a potential client, are you doing outbound cold calling? Are you doing growth through organic warm calls, referrals?
Cold outreach via email is a big channel for us. My social media presence is a big channel for us. My networking is a big channel for us. And then, we've just been in business for so long that referrals are obviously a very rampant, channel for us also.
Okay, what kind of networking are you doing that's effective, that's working?
I'm part of a networking group called Hampton, which is a founders group. So 1,500 plus folks that founded companies of a certain criteria. It's where I'd say that my main networking gets done. And then in addition to that, I'm part of another company that does major events at major events where I'm able to get access to some of the listen, I came from the luxury space, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I got
you've
a
got
lot of
some
friends.
connections. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a vast network, and I'm able to leverage that network to be in the right rooms
Good for you.
where I can meet the right folks. So
Good
that's
for you.
that's that's where I'm networking.
So you'll appreciate this. And again, this is going back over 20 years. So a woman, I'll say the name, her name is Brenda Otto, and she had a company called Personalize It in Newburgh, New York. This is way back when I was just starting my sales training business. And because I was affiliated with SUNY New Paltz in New York, and they were the ones who brought me in to teach about marketing and sales and all of that, I had the opportunity to work with two interns. So I had these two interns working with me, and they were helping me build out my sales brochures and all of that. And then there was an opportunity for a golf outing. I don't play golf. Nobody should be on the golf course with me in a club and swinging. Not a good situation. So one of the interns though was like not a professional golfer, but he was on the golf team in high school and he was on the golf team at the college. So I got him from Brenda, I got him a personalized one polo shirt, a golf shirt, and it had the name of my company on it. And I got him to be in a foursome with three business owners who I really wanted to do business with. And I gave him like marching instructions, like this is what you do, this is right, collaborate, build rapport, the whole thing. It turned out to be just that one polo shirt turned into a really beautiful working relationship because it kind of
Yeah.
started a snowball. So when I had talked earlier about that, the quality of what you are presenting is an absolute representation of your business, right? It's an extension of the business owner. This is, it's got to be, it can't be an afterthought. It has to be. So the fact that you do the embroidery and that piece of it in-house, I think that should be like a phenomenal part. That should be, I don't know, I'm guessing is that 70% of your business, 60% of your business? Where does that fall into?
Well, it's 90% of our soft good business.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so, well, it's okay. So there you go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's an important, listen, it's important. I mean, I just opened up an email before you and I got into a conversation of a major bank client of ours whose chairman has a major event that he has to go to 4 days from now. And they placed the order today and sent us a note and said, hey, can you get this done right away and overnight it? If I'm reliant on a partner to print and embroider that, I'm dead.
Yep.
But I tell my clients, listen, I can't, every order can't accelerate to be a day or two. But when you have an emergency and you need something done, send me an email, a text, or call. My team understands that things can go to the front of the line and we can move things out. So, yeah, I've always thought, I learned very early in this business that if you don't control your own destiny, then you're not really in this business. I'll never forget the first, we were small. Obviously, we had no business when we started, October of 2015. And I got a major order um, for that Christmas that had to be delivered on the 15th of December. And I got a note from our main company that we were sending embroidery work to for the first 3 to 4 weeks. That's not a long time. I get it. All right. I understand. But I got a note from them that said, hey, we can't take any more orders from your company because we're too busy. So that was a blessing. At the time, I was really upset. Like, hey, I'm a new company and I'm just starting to do business with you. And by the way, that's a lesson in life. Like, if you're not relevant to a big company, they will put you on pause and not think twice.
100%.
Like, I just don't behave that way with my clients. But that's the reality of doing business with big companies. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I bought an embroidery machine a month later and I've never looked back.
Good for you.
So you can tell me you're going to shut me off, but I am not going to be put on the sidelines. And ever since, yeah, I've never had to say no to somebody that I needed to say yes to.
Good for you. So it's about the pivot too, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, look, life's a pivot, right? I mean, I went from the radio business to the golf events business to private jets to luxury villas to fitness equipment to promotional marketing. So, like, I've been in a variety of different spaces through my career, but they've all fundamentally had the same elements to them. I mean, most business does. It's if you follow the golden rule in business, you're generally going to become, come out on top. It's treat people how you want to be treated and be fair and ethical. And I just don't. Yeah, we could talk about complex businesses and problems all day long, but they all mostly boil down to the same thing. So, and that's just kind of doing the next right thing. And you and I both know that that's generally not very confusing as to what that is in most situations. Every once in a while, there's a confusing situation because the right thing for you might be the wrong thing for somebody else. Or somebody's asking you to do something that you know is wrong. Like, so there can be those challenges ethically or, procedurally. But for the most part, What's right and what's wrong is, you know what, you know the answer to that, right?
Most people do. Sometimes it's hard to listen to it. You remind me of a story. So years ago, years and years ago, I was a salesperson. I'm still selling in the garment industry. And in the garment industry, to become a vendor and stay a vendor with the person who had the choice of whether or not you were going to be the person he bought from or not, there was a lot of under the table, or sometimes just passing an envelope and it didn't even go under the table. And I remember, I'll never forget this. My boss asked me, he told me that if we wanted to keep this account, and I don't know if it, the whole thing was really uncomfortable. He said, if we want to keep this particular account, which was mine, that the person who was making the decision made a quiet inquiry because he needed money for tuition because he wanted to go back to school. And my boss said, here's an envelope with money. We want you to give it to him. And I was unbelievably uncomfortable with that because that wasn't who I was. So talk about this, right? And so I went to the person and he took the envelope, and it might have ended up being a test. His employer was testing him, because a week later he was fired. I was fine. And I said to my boss, don't ever put me in that situation again. Cause that's not, if it was a test, if the owner wanted it, you should have told me that this was what was happening.
Yeah.
But so you have that, because especially when you have so many vendors that you're competing with for what some people will say, well, it's a commodity item. There's a lot of different sources, and I can go get it from somebody who's going to give me a payoff. That's what we were competing
Yeah.
against.
The schmata business is a
The
tough business.
schmata, yes, the rag. For those of you who don't know schmata, it's a rag. It's a rag business. It is. It was. It was
Yeah.
horrific. It was horrific.
Listen, Deborah, listen, everything's a commodity until something goes wrong.
That's right. That's right.
So, you got to see what you're at. You got to test what your appetite is. When you say commodity, I mean, how important is it to you to get a text message or a phone call after hours, or to know that you've got in your pocket, like my clients know they carry around in their pocket one communication away from having anything with a logo taken care of in any situation that they're ever in. If you think that's a commodity, you're out of your mind.
But well, I'm saying the perception is right.
I'm telling you, I understand what the perception is. I'm not fighting City Hall. I know exactly what the perception is. 4imprint's a $2 billion company.
Yeah.
We're not 8 figures yet. We're just getting, moving to that space. So if you don't think I know, I know. Okay, I know. But I'm telling you, right, for quality of my life and the clients I like to do business with, I'm telling you, the clients who want to do business with me and are the ones that want to know that they are 100% covered all the time whenever they need to be with the text, email, or phone call once, versus just going online and getting it done. And then, 90% of the time it hits, 95% of the time it hits. Hope that 5% is not important. I mean, so you want to call an 800 number, you want to call me. So, that's the commodity business. I always kind of smile. I think to myself, yes, but no. I call it the pizza business. I say that we're in the pizza business. The reason I use pizza business is because we all have 20 pizza shops inside of 2 miles from where we're sitting at any point. And we only choose 3 that we go to. And we choose those 3 because of quality, taste, price, and convenience, right? And we're not much different, right? So 20 or not 20, the reality is there's not that many choices.
No, and to go back again, so I keep harping on this because I come from the sales world, and because I had this whole thing. I think that there's a big, and I hope everybody hears this. There's a huge disconnect in people's minds. They think marketing is marketing and they think sales is sales, but what they don't understand is that they work together. And the better your marketing, the better your branding, the better your promotions, the better the better quality will actually help your sales and your salespeople, because people will be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've actually seen that logo before. I don't remember exactly where, but you know what? Let's have a
Yeah.
conversation. It really does work. It really does. And I think people underestimate that.
We could put the best promotional products inside of your trade show booth. And if your salesperson that's on site is sitting behind his computer and not making eye contact with people, it's going to be meaningless.
Yep.
And we can also put the worst promotional items inside of your booth. And if your salesperson is out there engaging with people, it's going to be less impactful. So the marriage between sales and marketing is critical. There's no question about it.
Yep. I think it said it changed because of social media and everything, but I believe the number is it takes a minimum of 8 to 12 times for somebody to see your name, to see your logo, for it to actually stick in their heads. And I think so. Let's go towards 12 to 15, because with social media and everybody has, ADHD today, I think it takes at least 15. So you want to be consistent. Like I remember, I can tell you exactly the logo for Tony the Tiger. I can tell you the logo for Nike. I can tell you the logo for Snap Crackle Pop, because it was built. It was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot less
constant.
noise back then. A lot less noise back then.
Yeah, there was. There was. So now everybody's competing for it. So how do you represent yourself when you're having a conversation with a prospective client? You're having this conversation, and the prospective client doesn't understand the importance and how critical it is that what you provide actually is different. Like, how do you differentiate yourself with the client?
Well, I mean, look, how do I differentiate myself, or how do I win a client that doesn't see my level of differentiation?
Oh, I like the second one better.
I don't. I move on.
You move on. Okay.
Yeah. What? I mean,
Not everybody's a great client.
yeah. Well, am I going to try to catch a fish that doesn't want to be caught? Like, why do I need a client that doesn't understand my value? Why do I want that? Why is that good for me?
That's good.
No, I mean, you just even get it, or you either get it,
Yeah,
or
I think that's a great message,
I'm
because
just saying, there's a billion. Part of being in a $28 billion space is you don't need to win every client. Like, sometimes they're not for you. I'm choosing clients like they're choosing me. So I've walked away from a ton of people, tons, big names. I walked away from one of the top companies in the world. I'm not saying it like, oh, look at me. I'm telling you, like, the reason I walked away is because there wasn't an opportunity. You can be the biggest company in the world, and if there's no opportunity, then what am I going to waste my time for? I'm going to do free design.
Yep.
Like, you just got to be, you got to be bold enough and understand, like, where is there an opportunity and where isn't there? And just because you have a big logo doesn't mean that you can beat me over the head with it.
Oh, and a lot of companies do try.
Of course they do. I'm this company. You should bow to my existence because, oh, look at the opportunity for you. Yeah, so sorry. Like, I'd rather do business with somebody that treats me with, the proper level of, it's not ego, but like, I'm here to help. So, like, if you don't come to me with the kind of attitude that you want help, like, I can't help you. Like, I want to help people. Like, I am set up to help people. That is how my life is run. That's how I work. So I'm just not going to be used and abused because you work for a big company. Like, if your company's so big, then you don't have to worry about putting in a big order. Oh, no. We want to, small before big. No, you have an urgent need. You've had the same urgent need for. I mean, I'll tell you the story. I mean, I had a major company that had a big trade show, and they came to me, and I bailed them out of a jam in 2 days' notice, under the promise of getting a meeting to do bigger work. They did the same thing the following year, and then the third year they came to me, and I said, no. I said, we can set up a meeting, and they said, well, we can't set up a meeting right now. And I said, okay, great, no problem. I just can't do the work right now. Like, so I could give you the long version of it because there was a long version of it. But
the bottom line is, and I think this is a really important message, is that you also, so you need to be the boss of your own business. You
Yes.
are running your business, you're setting up your guardrails, you have your standards, right? And I think that, and I just had this conversation with somebody else the other day, that I think some new business owners, especially when they're first starting and they've got to pay the mortgage, they got to pay their staff, they've got, all these bills, they will take any client for any reason, whatever, they just need to put money and funds into the
Yeah,
bank account.
I understand that. I did that.
Yeah. And I think when it's a blessing when you get to where you are, because yeah, you do the grind, you go through it, you grow, you make mistakes, you learn, you grow, right? And then you get to the point where, you know what, Mr. Client, this is how I run my business. Thank you.
Here's what happens. And you have experience, you know this. What happens is you take every client and you realize some jobs are better than other jobs, but then you also realize that you fit in certain places, in certain niches better than other niches. In our industry, for example, when I was just first starting out, we would do little leagues, we would do soccer teams, we would do basketball teams, anything with a number we would do, right? I haven't touched a number. I haven't put a number on a shirt in 5 years because what I've realized is that's not our business. Our business is corporate. So we niche inside of this business because it allows me to get deeper, right? If I'm worried about going out and chasing little leagues, if I'm worried about chasing uniform business,
Too small.
then and team spirit shops, then I'm not going to be able to focus on going deep to these trade shows to look at corporate gifting and client experiential gifts and the items that can be ordered for online web stores, things that I excel in. So you have to choose what it is you do really well and focus on that, even inside of it's a $28 billion business, but you got to choose what you do. So we've chosen the corporate path and we're really good at all things in that realm.
Good
But
for
when
you.
it comes to um, the team business, like I'm just not involved in it at all.
Good for you. So there's a lot of nuggets in what we just talked about. It was pivoting. We talked about pivoting. We talked about how important it is to brand. And I'm passionate about this because I know I have seen it because I've been on the sales force and I've run sales teams who, when you're using the marketing and promotional materials in an effective and efficient way, and you're using it as an extension of yourself and the organization that you're representing, it opens doors because people will recognize it because it's been branded and promoted to warm the call for you. Then you just talked about, okay, then you run your business. So you start out in one way and then you start to narrow it down and choosing the niche and then sticking to it. So what's that saying? Like, don't be a jack of all trades, be the master of the one, right?
You got it.
Yeah. So thank you. And so I think that is so important, especially for newer entrepreneurs who are just starting or who have only been in the business for 3, 4 years, and they're working with clients that they might not like right now. So they just keep focused, be consistent, and start to figure out and narrow down what you really want, who you really want to work with, and
Yeah.
what you want your business to look like.
Here's what we do really well. Here's how we can help you. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And at first, look, everybody takes every client they possibly can get their hands on at first. That's just part of survival. And that's not an issue. But what I found is at this stage of our business, if we try to take a round peg and put it in a square hole, it doesn't work and it hurts the rest of our business.
Yeah.
And so we operate in a very stringent manner now. And that's what's been successful for us and allowed us to, have the opportunity to scale.
Good for you. I think
Thanks.
there's another thing the statistics say, if you have one bad customer service experience, you'll tell 25 people. If it's a good one, you don't tell very many. You tell maybe one.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So I think that's the other piece of that. So you just brought up a really great point. You basically said, if you can't do it well, don't do it at all. Like if you know in your heart that there's a client, even if he's willing to give you a 6-figure check, but you know that the job is going to be not good. It's actually going to do you more harm, and it'll hurt your reputation more than if you had just stayed away and said, you know what, this is not the right fit for us. I think that's a great takeaway too. A lot of
Oh,
good nuggets.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I do this every day, so I would
Yeah.
hope.
Well, you're passionate about it too, which is great.
I
So
love the
good.
business. I think it's an amazing business. No 2 days are the same. I enjoy helping people. I like watching the light come on. I mean, Deborah, let me ask you a very simple question and
Mhm.
answer me as honestly as you can. Do you like getting gifts?
I love getting gifts.
Yeah,
100%.
who doesn't? Okay. So that's the business I'm in.
Mhm.
When people open their minds to think, or when people open their drop their ego, open their minds, and allow us to help them, they get better gifts than when they try to do it themselves.
Better
It's
quality.
not insulting. It's not a pejorative statement towards people who do it themselves. How would you possibly have the view that I have when I do this every day? I mean, I'm telling you, over the next 3 hours, I'm going to see 200 products in person, physically see, feel, and touch, and talk to a representative of the company that manufactures them. I'm going to touch them right here where I'm talking to you. So how is it that you would possibly know more than me?
There's no way. And the fact that you're vetting your vendors, I think that is also a huge thing. So anybody that comes to you will know that you have seen, touched, smelled, felt, whatever, the product, so you know that the quality, and so you stand behind it, which
How about
not
this? How
you
about
go,
this? I can tell you the bag you bought is probably similar to a bag that's sitting at 10 different companies right now.
oh God, I hope not.
Hold on. 10 different companies probably have the bag you bought. You don't think that one of them is better than the other. You think they're the same? They're not the same. Somebody makes quality items and somebody makes trash. Now, I don't know the bag you bought, so I can't speak to it, but somebody makes the best and somebody makes the worst in every product. Like I can tell you right now, I've had people tell me, hey, I really like this product. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it. I'm like, you can do it. It's trash. I physically have held it. It's terrible. It is going to fall apart. No one's going to take it home.
It's not anybody else can do that.
So, there's just manufacturers who are better than others. And by the way, that's like the manufacturer who I said about their item, like they're in the trash business. That's their business.
Yeah,
They're the lowest price provider.
yeah.
Like I'm not insulting them. That's what it
It is.
is.
It's the truth. Yeah,
So just know
yeah,
that's what you're ordering. There's a reason that
yeah,
the exact same item everywhere else is 50 cents more.
yeah. So I just want to go back for a second. So the beginning of the conversation I mentioned to you, so I worked for a global company, and their marketing department had that chip clip with the magnet. I still, do you know, it's been years,
Yeah, it's a
years,
good
and
item.
I still have, because the clip was such good quality.
The
It was
spring.
strong. What?
It's the spring.
It's the spring, it's the magnet, and they've got a
Yeah.
great, their logo is on there, so I can't ever forget, who the company is. So I think that also, look, if anybody is going to invest the time and the money into putting their logo on something, then you better freaking get it right. Because you want this to be something that people have and they look at over and over and use over and over again, right?
Do you know how many manufacturing partners we have that make chip clips?
How many?
Tons.
Yeah. How
These
many do you actually order from?
2 or 3 tops.
Yeah, because
I,
of the quality.
yeah, spring magnet. Like you don't think there's grades of magnets? There's grades of magnets.
Yeah, most people
One,
don't know that. Yeah.
one spring is one spring has better action than another spring. It sounds silly, but we've
No,
all
it
heard
all
it.
matters.
It all matters.
It all
Correct.
matters. Yeah. So we could talk for hours, but I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You got 200 products waiting for you to review them.
I do have a day lined up.
Yeah, you do. So, is there any last thing that you would want to leave with the viewers and the listeners, that whether it's about you, your company, just a life lesson that you'd want to share? Anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that I think the life lesson is that, you know, to the degree that you can stay curious, I think you have a chance that things are always going to get better, and you're going to learn more, and you're going to get better outcomes for whatever solution you're looking for, whether that's promo products or otherwise. So, I've made my life and career out of curiosity, listening more than I talk, asking questions, finding experts, and um, just abandoning the thought of knowing everything and knowing the answer better than people who uh, really know the answer.
Good for you.
So, yeah, I'd say that my lasting thought would be stay curious. And yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, I think I'll leave it at that.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you and find you and the quality branded products for them to extend their reach, how do they get in touch with you?
Super easy. I post on LinkedIn twice a day. I write 100% of my own content, so you'll know it's me. Jay Sapovitz. You can find me there, and then Jay at my company Ink Stores, at Ink Stores, INKDSTORES.com, jay@inkstores.com, and yeah, I'm always accessible. And by the way, my email's on my LinkedIn. I'll never understand people who are in sales or sell or own businesses that don't have their contact information on LinkedIn. Like, it's 2026, Deborah. This isn't 15 years ago. Like, if I want to find you, I'm going to find you.
I know.
Why do you make it hard on me? Just make it easy on me.
I think that is another lesson that you can leave everybody with. Get your contact info on your LinkedIn profile.
I'm just saying, like, if you were looking for a job, right, like open to work, or you're out there and you're trying to, like, make it easy for me to contact you. Why are you making it hard?
Yeah.
You're already out there on social media. We know you exist.
Yeah.
Make it simple.
Yeah, I tell it to my clients. So I have clients in the real estate luxury market, globally. And I go to their website. I do a scan. I look at their Facebook. I look at their LinkedIn. I look at their website. I go to their website, and it's about me page, and they don't even have their profile picture on there. And I'm like yelling at them, stop. You're a sales professional. Get it together.
Get it together. Put your email on your phone. Like, make it so, like, oh, like, busy people. So
yeah.
Appreciate the time tonight. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.